Hi there, I'm Melanie and welcome to my channel at Simple Made Pretty. In this video, I'm sharing 4 different ways to make fabric pumpkins using Dollar Tree supplies. For this first fabric pumpkin, I used a roll of toilet paper, a baby blanket from the Dollar Tree, and a little twig that I found in my yard that had fallen from one of our trees. I cut the baby blanket to a small square and I just wrapped it around the toilet paper roll, and then I continued to shove the fabric inside the roll and place the twig inside, and there's my first fabric pumpkin. Now for this next pumpkin, I used a Dollar Tree pillow. I just basically cut it open so that I could use the inside of it as the material to fluff my pumpkins. I used a $1 fat quarter found at Walmart, that buffalo plaid fabric. I used some dried cherry pits and some dried lavender as my insert, but you could use dried beans or dried rice. And then I also used some cinnamon sticks, and I used a rubber band, and I put everything in a plastic bag, wrapped it around with the rubber band, and then I just took my fabric fat quarter, cut it to size, and I just tucked the fabric around that rubber band until I got the shape of a pumpkin. And you just have to keep manipulating it and tucking and tucking. And what I ended up doing was actually starting all over and actually using some of that fabric fill for the bottom, so it wasn't so like felt so hard, and it gave it a little bit of fluff on the outside. And so then again, you're seeing that I'm just tucking and tucking and tucking. And then I took some Dollar Tree twine, tied it around the cinnamon sticks to give it a little farmhouse look. You can see I'm trying ribbon, but I just ended up with twine from the Dollar Tree. And not only will that help to keep your cinnamon sticks together, but it will also give it kind of a farmhouse look. And there's pumpkin number 2 using fabric and Dollar Tree supplies. And for this next one, I used the same dried cherry pits. I used a paper towel insert. This one is actually a Cricut vinyl decal insert, so it's a little bit harder. I used some old washcloths that I had, but you could also use the Dollar Tree pillow insert for yours. The only reason why I used dried cherry pits to give it a somewhat weight, because this pumpkin was a little bit bigger. And so I just tucked my fabric around this pumpkin and just kind of shoved all the fabric in that little tube in the middle. And I did use a pair of scissors. This fabric is old. I bought it from Hobby Lobby a few years ago. But again, I bet you could use a fat quarter from Walmart, the 99-cent fat quarters. And I just kept tucking and tucking. And then I used some Dollar Tree twine, and I just strung it around this pumpkin as tight as possible to give it the appearance of like the pumpkin sides that you see on most natural pumpkins. And so I just kept tying it and pulling very, very tight, and then I tied it all at the top there. Now for the stem, what I used was an old black sock. This is one of my husband's socks, and basically I cut off the toe part, and when I was left with the top piece, and then I cut it down to a little bit of a smaller size, so it kind of resembled a stem. And I used some of the Dollar Tree insert again for the stem. So this is like a fabric stem. And I used a glue gun, so there's no sewing here. And all I did was glue. I turned it inside out. I glued the inside pieces together, and then I flipped it right side out again. And the reason why I glued it is because I wanted to give it like the stem look, and it wasn't just a straight stem sticking up. And then I stuffed it with the rest of the Dollar Tree pillow insert that I had until I got the stem size that looked appropriate for this size pumpkin. And I turned whatever remaining I had fabric inside out, and then placed it on my pumpkin using my glue gun. And so I just kind of glued it in place and glued that little stem down to the pumpkin. And then I just kind of manipulated the tip of it so it curved a little bit and appeared to be like a pumpkin stem. And then you can add some greenery like this lamb's ear. I just stuck mine to the pumpkin using a little push pin. You don't even have to glue it down, just because I use this little greenery a lot in my home decor. And for this last pumpkin, number 4, I used some old wool socks and I cut off the foot portion, turned it inside out, and then I sewed a little knot at the end so it was knotted at the bottom. And you can just hand sew this, and once that's sewed, I flipped it right side out. I used the same stuffing from that Dollar Tree pillow. I'm really getting a lot of stuffing out of this pillow. And then I took a rubber band and a wine cork and I stuck it inside my pumpkin, and I just kept twisting that fabric around that rubber band, and then the cork fit easily in. And then to give it the appearance of the sides puckering, I took some floss and I just threaded the floss through the pumpkin and just kept tying it very tight until it got the appearance that I was looking for. And again, you can find floss at Dollar Tree. This is such an inexpensive project to do using old hats, old socks, old sweaters. You can even go to the thrift store and find things like this. You know, and it's just so many colors and options that you have to make some cute little pumpkins using fabric and Dollar Tree materials. So I tied this floss on the bottom of my pumpkin, and you can't even see it. Even though my floss is white, you could also use clear floss. And then I just stuck the cork in and it was done. How cute. If you enjoyed today's tutorial, be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more DIY videos and projects like this one.